Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Mago and with me is Nipunika Shahid with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says during Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, our aim should be for a judicial system that delivers easy justice, speedy justice and justice for all. Judicial Infrastructure Development Authority to be formed at state level, says Law Minister Kiran Rijiju. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia says over 60% of youngsters between 12 to 14 years administered first dose of COVID-19 vaccine so far. Khadi and Village Industries Commission registers in 2021-22 over 1 lakh crore rupees turnover for the first time. Beats all FMCG companies in the country. Procurement orders by Defence Ministry through e-market portal reach an all-time high of over 15,000 crore rupees. Power Ministry says there has been no shortage of electricity supply to the state of Delhi. Enforcement Directorate seizes over 5,000 crore rupees of Xiaomi Technology India under the provisions of Foreign Exchange Management Act. Met Department issues yellow warning of heat wave for northwest and eastern parts of the country for the next 2 days. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates second Khelo Masters Games at Tyagaraja Stadium in New Delhi. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 6 wickets. Match between Mumbai Indians and Rajasthan Royals is underway. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for a judicial system that can deliver easy justice, speedy justice and justice for all. He said our vision in Azadi Ka Amrit Kal should be of such a judicial system. He was addressing the inaugural session of the Joint Conference of Chief Ministers of States and Chief Justices of High Courts in New Delhi today. The Prime Minister said our priority should be questions like what kind of judicial system would we like to see when the country completes 100 years of independence.
अमृत काल में हमारा विजन एक ऐसी न्याय व्यवस्था का होना चाहिए जिसमें न्याय सुलभ हो, न्याय त्वरित हो और न्याय सबके लिए हो। देश में न्याय की देरी को कम करने के लिए सरकार अपने स्तर से हर संभव प्रयास कर रही है। जुडिशियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बेहतर करने की कोशिश चल रही है। केस मैनेजमेंट के लिए आईसीटी के इस्तेमाल की शुरुआत भी की गई है। सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट्स और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट से लेकर हाई कोर्ट तक वैकेंसीज को भरने के लिए भी प्रयास हो रहे हैं।
The Prime Minister said the government considers the possibilities of technology in the judicial system as an essential part of the Digital India mission. He said the e-courts project is being implemented in the mission mode in the country. The Prime Minister insisted on encouraging local languages in courts, saying it will increase the confidence of common people in the judicial system.
बड़ी आबादी को न्यायिक प्रक्रिया से लेकर फैसलों तक को समझना मुश्किल होता है। हमें इस व्यवस्था को सरल और आम जनता के लिए ग्राह्य बनाने की जरूरत है। हमें कोर्ट्स में स्थानीय भाषाओं को प्रोत्साहन देने की जरूरत है। और मुझे खुशी है कई राज्यों ने मातृभाषा में टेक्निकल एजुकेशन, मेडिकल एजुकेशन के लिए कुछ इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं। तो आगे चल करके उसके कारण गांव का गरीब का बच्चा भी जो भाषा के कारण रुकावटें महसूस करता है उसके लिए सारे रास्ते खुल जाएंगे। और ये भी तो एक बड़ा न्याय है, ये भी एक सामाजिक न्याय है। सामाजिक न्याय के लिए न्यायपालिका के तराजू तक जाने की जरूरत नहीं होती है। सामाजिक न्याय के लिए कभी भाषा भी बहुत बड़ा कारण बन सकती है।
Mr. Modi said, the judiciary is the guardian of the constitution and the legislature represents the aspirations of the citizens, adding that this balance will prepare the roadmap for an effective and time-bound judicial system in the country. Talking about under-trial prisoners, the Prime Minister said, today there are about 3.5 lakh such prisoners in the country. He said most of them are from poor or ordinary families, and he urged the Chief Ministers and Chief Justices of High Courts to give priority to their cases. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana said, the law should be made after thorough debates and discussions, incorporating the needs and aspirations of the concerned people. Law and Justice Minister Kiran Rijiju and Chief Ministers of several states and union territories were present in the conference. Addressing the joint press conference with Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana, Law Minister Kiren Rijiju informed that a Judicial Infrastructure Development Authority will be formed at the state level to strengthen the judicial infrastructure of the country. He said the resolution regarding this was passed during the joint conference of Chief Ministers of the states and Chief Justices of High Courts in New Delhi today. Mr. Rijiju clarified that during the conference held yesterday, many resolutions were passed. He said the Chief Ministers and Chief Justices agreed that the body will be created at the state level with the involvement of the CMs and Chief Justices or their nominees. Mr. Rijiju said when the Chief Ministers and Chief Justices come together, many things can be settled.
The Chief Ministers and Chief Justices come together, involve themselves, many things can be settled. That is why it was agreed that the body will be created and given a lot of emphasis for success of that committee was deliberated upon, and we are ready to assist the state government for creating judicial infrastructure at the state level, especially for the district court, lower judiciary, subordinate judiciary.
Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana said lack of infrastructure is one of the main causes of delay in delivering justice. The Chief Justice said effective steps will be taken to ensure the clearing of cases pending for more than 5 years.
Effective steps to be taken to ensure that the areas of cases pending for more than 5 years to be to the extent possible cleared. Sanction strength of judicial officers for district judiciary be increased in phased manner in accordance with the directions issued in the judgment of Imtiaz Ahmad, along with that of requisite subordinate staff, administrative, technical and court case management.
Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has said that over 60% of youngsters between 12 to 14 years have received the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. In a tweet, Dr. Mandavia has congratulated all the youngsters who have got vaccinated. The free-of-cost COVID-19 vaccination for the age group of 12 to 14 years began on the 16th of last month. The Health Ministry said more than 2 crore 86 lakh adolescents have been administered the first dose and around 66 lakh have received the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Khadi and Village Industries Commission KVIC has exceeded turnover of 1 lakh crore rupees in 2021-22. Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Ministry highlighted that it is the first time when KVIC clocked a massive turnover of 1,15,000 crore rupees and has beaten all FMCG companies in the country. The ministry informed that in the financial year of 2021-22, KVIC has registered the growth of over 20% from the year 2020-21.
General Manoj Pandey today took over as the new Chief of the Army Staff. The 29th Army Chief, General Pandey, succeeds General Manoj Mukund Narvane. He is the first officer from the Corps of Engineers to get this opportunity. An alumnus of the National Defence Academy, General Pandey was commissioned into the Corps of Engineers in December 1982. He commanded an engineer regiment during Operation Parakraman in the Palanwala sector along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. In his 39-year military career, General Pandey has commanded an engineer brigade in the Western Theatre, an infantry brigade along the LOC, a mountain division in the Ladakh sector, and a corps in the northeast. Outgoing Army Chief General Narvane was given a Guard of Honour at the South Block lawns in New Delhi this morning. He called on President Ramnath Kovind at Rashtrapati Bhavan. He also met Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. In a tweet, the Defence Minister said General Narvane's contribution as a military leader has strengthened India's defence capabilities and preparedness. Procurement orders by the Ministry of Defence through Government e-Market GEM portal have reached an all-time high of over 15,000 crore rupees for 2021-22. The Defence Ministry said that it is a jump of more than 250% over the last financial year. The GEM was started in August 2016 to revamp the old tender process and bring greater probity and transparency in government procurement through digitization.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says during Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, our aim should be for a judicial system that delivers easy justice, speedy justice and justice for all. Judicial Infrastructure Development Authority to be formed at state level, says Law Minister Kiran Rijiju. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia says over 60% of youngsters between 12 to 14 age group administered first dose of COVID-19 vaccine so far. Khadi and Village Industries Commission registers in 2021-22 over 1 lakh crore rupees turnover for the first time, beats all FMCG companies in the country. Procurement orders by Defence Ministry through e-market portal reach an all-time high of over 15,000 crore rupees. Power Ministry says there has been no shortage supply of electricity supply to the state of Delhi. Enforcement Directorate seizes over 5,000 crore rupees of Xiaomi Technology India under the provisions of Foreign Exchange Management Act. Met Department issues yellow warning of heat wave for northwest and eastern parts of the country for next 2 days. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates second Khelo Masters Games at Tyagaraja Stadium in New Delhi, and in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 6 wickets. Match between Mumbai Indians and Rajasthan Royals underway. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर, या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर, और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
A total of 197 signatories, consisting of retired judges, bureaucrats and armed forces officers, have written an open letter to the Prime Minister against a letter by the self-styled Constitutional Conduct Group CCG, calling for an end to politics of hate. The open letter described it as a gender-driven, biased, politicized statement. He said the statement is a repeated effort to draw attention to themselves as citizens with a higher sense of social purpose. The letter called the statement of CCG as a manifest political anti-Narendra Modi government exercise which the group undertakes periodically in the belief that they can shape public opinion against the ruling dispensation. He said CCG's anger and anguish is not only empty virtue signaling, they are actually fueling the politics of hate that they seek to combat by attempting to engineer hate against the present government with their patent prejudices and false portrayals. Citing post-poll violence in West Bengal, the group said the studied silence of CCG on it shows their cynical and unprincipled approach to the issues. It said instances of major communal violence have instead decreased under the BJP government, and this is appreciated by the public. Union Power Minister R.K. Singh today reviewed the coal stock position in thermal power plants, including the plants supplying power to distribution companies of Delhi. During the meeting, Mr. Singh said that distribution companies of Delhi will get as much power as requisitioned by them as per their demand. National Thermal Power Corporation Limited (NTPC) and Damodar Valley Corporation have been directed to give full availability as per the requirement of the DISCOMs. GAIL India Limited has also assured to make gas available from all sources to gas-based power plants in Delhi. The Power Ministry said there has been no shortage of electricity supply to the state of Delhi. As per the data provided by Power System Operation Corporation, the peak demand went up to over 6,000 megawatt yesterday, and there has been no shortage in meeting the maximum demand.
The Enforcement Directorate ED has seized over 5,551 crore rupees of Xiaomi Technology India Private Limited under the provisions of Foreign Exchange Management Act. Xiaomi India is a wholly owned subsidiary of China-based Xiaomi Group. ED had initiated an investigation in connection with the illegal remittances made by the company in the month of February this year. Xiaomi India is a trader and distributor of mobile phones in India under the brand name of My Xiaomi India, procures completely manufactured mobile states and other products from the manufacturers in India. The Enforcement Directorate has attached properties worth over 7 crore rupees of actor Jacqueline Fernandez in a money laundering case related to jailed conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar. During the investigation, it was revealed that Sukesh Chandrasekhar had liaised with actor Jacqueline Fernandez in the guise of a web series producer.
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed the 189 crore mark today. More than 23 lakh vaccine doses were administered today. The Health Ministry said over 2 crore 82 lakh precaution doses have been administered to the identified categories of beneficiaries. North India continues to reel under heatwave conditions. The India Meteorological Department has issued a yellow alert for western Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, western UP, MP and Jharkhand for the next 2 days. Talking to AIR News, senior scientist in IMD R.K. Janamani said the western disturbance is advancing and thunderstorms and rainfall are likely to take place in these areas from the 2nd of next month.
Heat wave has been predominant over larger area like covering Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and we are Jharkhand, Odisha, parts of Bengal, Madhya Maharashtra and Vidarbha and Madhya Pradesh. So also Ashram temperature most of the places 43-44 and some stations cross also 45. These kind of condition will continue up to 1st May. Then from 2nd May it will start falling and there is a very active western disturbance moving to the northwest and central India during 2nd to 5th. So there will be good rainfall and thunderstorm activity.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
On the 30th of April 1908, Khudiram Bose and Prafulla Chaki attacked the carriage which they thought was carrying the infamous magistrate Kingsford.
Kingsford was unpopular for passing harsh and cruel sentences on young freedom fighters of Bengal. He was also noted for inflicting corporal punishments on Indians. This led to rage against the magistrate Kingsford. The revolutionary independence activists planned to take revenge.
Prafulla Chaki and Khudiram Bose were chosen for the assassination of Kingsford, who was posted as magistrate in Muzaffarpur. Khudiram Bose and Prafulla Chaki adopted different names to escape the British intelligence officers. Khudiram took the name of Haren Sarkar and Prafulla Chaki disguised himself in the name of Dinesh Chandra Roy. Both the young boys took up residence in a dharamshala. In the ensuing days, Prafulla and Khudiram monitored the activities and daily routine of Magistrate Kingsford. The two revolutionaries successfully hid their identities for over 3 weeks.
Initially, the plan was to throw a bomb in the court, but later it was changed to avoid injuries to civilians present in the court. They decided to attack Kingsford in front of the British Club. Pretending to be schoolboys, they surveyed the park situated opposite the British Club. On the evening of 29th of April, Khudiram and Prafulla were in place to execute their plans. However, on this occasion, they were noticed by a constable.
On the fateful day of the 30th of April 1908, Kingsford and his wife were accompanying the daughter and wife of another British barrister, Pringle Kennedy, in the park. In the evening, the families decided to leave. Kingsford and his wife were in one carriage, and Mrs. Kennedy and her daughter in another. However, the two carriages were identical. As their carriages reached the European club, Khudiram and Prafulla ran towards the carriage and threw the bombs.
The carriage was shattered and the Kennedy family sustained terrible injuries. Magistrate Kingsford was lucky to escape the bomb. Khudiram and Prafulla went their own ways to escape capture. While police arrested Khudiram from the Vaini railway station in Samastipur district, Prafulla Chaki killed himself before being caught by the police.
Gandhiji shifted to Sevagram Ashram in Vardhan on the 30th of April 1934. When Gandhiji started his Padayatra in 1930 from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi for the salt satyagraha, he had decided not to return to Sabarmati till India attained independence. When Gandhiji was released from prison after 2 years, as India was yet to gain independence, he decided to make a village in central India his headquarters.
He came to Vardha in 1934 at the invitation of Jamnalal Bajaj. On the 30th of April 1936, Gandhiji established his residence in the village Shegam. There was another village in this region named Shegam, made famous by the residents of Sant Gajanan Maharaj. So Gandhiji's letters used to get misdirected. Therefore, it was decided in 1940 to rename this village as Sevagram, meaning the village of service.
From then on, Sevagram has become an inspiring place. Many decisions on important national matters and movements were taken at Sevagram. It became the central place for a number of institutions for nation-building activities devised by Gandhiji to suit the inherent strength of our country.
We also remember Gopal Singh. Gopal Singh belonged to district Kangra of Himachal Pradesh. He formerly served in the Dogra regiment of the British Indian Army. Gopal Singh voluntarily joined the Indian National Army and served in the infantry group. He was killed on the 30th of April 1946. AIR News salutes the brave nationalist.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumers can use this app to register food-related complaints. The Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, APIDA, has launched a variety of millet products for all age groups at affordable prices. Ready-to-eat millet food products like upma, pongal, khichdi, noodles, biryani launched at affordable prices ranging from 5 to 15 rupees at the Ahar Food Fair in New Delhi. Commerce and Industry Ministry said all the millet products launched by APIDA are gluten-free, 100% natural and patented. The 36th edition of Ahar was jointly organized by APIDA and the India Trade Promotion Organization at Pragati Maidan this week.
Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur today inaugurated the second Khelo Masters Games Delhi 2022 at Tyagaraja Stadium in New Delhi. On this occasion, Mr. Thakur said that this game will motivate the youth and adults to participate in games and promote games in the country. He emphasized that it will also promote Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Khelo India.
खेलों को बढ़ावा देने के लिए एक अच्छा प्रयास है कि 30 वर्ष से ज्यादा की आयु के और 95 साल तक के खिलाड़ी यहाँ पर खेल रहे हैं। बहुत सारे एक्स ओलंपियंस यहाँ पे भाग ले रहे हैं और जो प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी खेलो इंडिया को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं, एक और खेलो इंडिया यूथ गेम्स, खेलो इंडिया यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स, खेलो इंडिया के अंतर्गत लीग्स हो रही हैं, वहीं पर भी मास्टर्स ने आगे आकर उम्र को न देखते हुए खेलों का आयोजन किया है और हजारों खिलाड़ी यहाँ पर भाग ले रहे हैं।
In the Khelo India University Games, Lovely Professional University won 6 medals today, including 2 golds, to climb to the medals tally at 3rd place. The Jain University with 16 gold, 6 silver and 4 bronze are in the first place, followed by Punjab University with 11 gold, 6 silver and 17 bronze medals. There are now 101 different universities in the medals tally list, with 46 of them nabbing at least 1 gold medal.
In Asia Badminton Championships, India's PV Sindhu won her second Asian bronze medal after a heartbreaking 3-game loss to top seed and defending champion Akane Yamaguchi of Japan in the semi-final in Manila. The two-time Olympic medalist and former world champion Sindhu had the match in her control after clinching the opening game 21-13 and leading 13-11 in the second. In IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans defeated Royal Challengers Bangalore by 6 wickets at the Brabant City Stadium in Mumbai. Titans chased down the target of 171 with 6 wickets and 3 balls to spare. Earlier, RCB won the toss, chose to bat and posted a total of 170 for 6. The other match between Rajasthan Royals and Mumbai Indians is now underway at D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai, Rajasthan, were 120 for 3 in 15.3 overs when reports last came in.
The second phase of the mandatory hallmarking of gold jewellery and gold artifacts will come into force from the 1st of June this year. The Consumer Affairs Ministry said the second phase will cover additional 3 caratages of gold jewellery and artifacts, 20 carats, 23 carats and 24 carats. The ministry said Bureau of Indian Standards BIS has successfully implemented mandatory hallmarking in 256 districts of the country with effect from 23rd June last year. It said more than 3 lakh gold articles are being hallmarked with a hallmark unique identification every day. In Leh, the first ever 10-day training camp for Ladakhi voiceover and dubbing artists training camp in All India Radio Studios concluded today. UT Ladakh Secretary Padma Angmo presented certificates to the successful participants of the camp. The camp is part of Ladakh's Skill Development Mission in coordination with the Film and Television Institute of India, FTII, for Ladakhi youth. In the 75th Santosh Trophy National Football Tournament, 32-time champions West Bengal will take on hosts Kerala in the Summit Clash to be played at Payanad Stadium in Manjeri, Kerala on Monday, 2nd May. The match begins at 8 p.m. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will experience heat wave. Temperature will hover between 27 and 44 degrees. Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata are likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Kolkata has a possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Visakhapatnam will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Hyderabad will have rain or thunder showers and they would occur towards evening or night. Bengaluru and Thiruvananthapuram will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Most cities in northeast, including Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl and Itanagar, will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And Agartala will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says during Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, our aim should be for a judicial system that delivers easy justice, speedy justice and justice for all. Judicial Infrastructure Development Authority to be formed at state level, says Law Minister Kiran Rijiju. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia says over 60% of youngsters between 12 to 14 years administered first dose of COVID-19 vaccine so far. Khadi and Village Industries Commission registers in 2021-22 over 1 lakh crore rupees turnover for the first time, beats all FMCG companies in the country. Procurement orders by Defence Ministry through e-market portal reached all-time high of over 15,000 crore rupees. Power Ministry says there has been no shortage of electricity supply to the state of Delhi. Enforcement Directorate seizes over 5,000 crore rupees of Xiaomi Technology India under provisions of Foreign Exchange Management Act. Met Department issues yellow warning of heat wave for northwest and eastern parts of the country for next 2 days. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates second Khelo Masters Games at Tyagaraja Stadium in New Delhi. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 6 wickets. Match between Mumbai Indians and Rajasthan Royals underway. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.